Jillian, you have a great story to tell about your math skills and the growth of your math skills. What was going on? How did that develop? What was going on early on?
Well, early on, when I started in elementary school, even in kindergarten a little bit, I was a very early reader, and I loved language arts. It was something that was really important to me. So I let my math really take a backseat because I felt as though if I had good language arts skills, I really didn't need to have those math skills. And that idea and that beginning wasn't a very strong foundation for my math skills to come, and so that really set me back as the years went on. And as math got harder and harder, it became more difficult for me because I lacked those little early concepts, those concepts that built upon themselves. And so I found myself really struggling, especially when I got into high school with mathematics.
Yeah, did it affect your confidence?
Absolutely, it did. Absolutely. When I think it was a sophomore, I was really reached the point where I was not confident at all in math. I was taking Algebra 2, and that was the turning point for me when I realized I got my report card and I got some grades on there that I really didn't want to see. So when I got the report card, I realized that I needed to make a change. I needed to seek help outside of the classroom and find someone who could help me further my math skills and maybe figure out what I need to work on so that I can progress and succeed in math.
Great, and so you made a change. What were some of the things that you did? Because I know you're an incredibly hard worker. So what are some of those things that helped make the change?
I think the biggest thing was first finding someone who can help recognize the things that I missed in years past and really working on those little math skills that maybe I should have grasped in earlier grades. Working on those math skills, working on lots of extra problems, taking my summers, taking my weekends, and really putting in that extra effort and working on those little math skills, all the while working on the math skills that I'm working on in my current class. And I think using those two methods in tandem allowed me to not only fix those math skills from the past, but also help me understand why I needed to know those skills for my future math and the math that I was working on.
Yeah, and did it happen all at once, or how did that growth happen?
It didn't happen all at once. It took some time, and it took a lot of effort. I think the first thing that I had to do was recognize those things that I needed to work on, those little skills, and then after working a while on those skills and making sure that those were stronger, I was able to then progress to the math that I was working on in my current class.
Yeah, and how did your grades and your test scores? What happened along the way?
So I think in the beginning, I didn't see much improvement. It took some time, but once I realized that I was making a change, I was started to see my quiz grades slowly boost up. I think at that point, then my confidence grew, and when my confidence grew, my test scores were improving, and they started. My test scores and my quiz scores were growing exponentially. And by the end of sophomore year, that was the year that I really realized the need to make a change in my math. My grades had gone up, an enormous change in my grades from the beginning of the year from the end. So it did take some time, but I did recognize I had little victories along the way.
Right, and your grades have gone to what levels? What are you getting today?
Today, I love math. And today I actually took, this past semester, I took a calculus course, and I ended up getting a very high score in that class, and I actually enjoyed it. It was something that I looked forward to going to class. And so that goes along with my confidence. It's really grown, and I'm really seeing those changes in my work ethic, in my math work ethic, and today. And the fact that I'm actually enjoying math is something that I was able to take from it.
Yeah, and has it ported to other areas? Like you were talking about a physics
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, absolutely. In physics, I took that my junior year, so after that change in my sophomore year, and a big thing about physics is that you need to have those pre-calc skills. There's a lot of trigonometry in physics, and at the time I was taking pre-calculus. And because I was working on those skills, and I was working on those pre-calc skills, I was able to really succeed in physics, while other people in my class I noticed were kind of struggling, especially with the trigonometry that was involved in physics. And the fact that I was really improving my math skills at the same time, at the same time as I was in that physics class, I really felt as though I was succeeding, and I didn't go into class feeling like I was confused or that I didn't really want to be there, because there was definite change, and I was definitely understanding the material.
Great, and you got to enjoy physics.
Absolutely. I love physics now, so that's a big thing that I would have never seen years ago.
Great, great. Thanks, Jillian.
Thank you.